Hey, you all, Carpetbagger here, coming to you live from the south. More specifically, we are on top of Lookout Mountain, Georgia. And even more specifically than that, we are in front of the gates to Rock City. Now this is not the current gate to enter Rock City. This is the original entrance to Rock City. We'll go around to the front and enter through the main gate, but I wanted to come back here first and show the original entrance. Now, for those of you who are not familiar, Rock City is a classic roadside attraction, one of my favorite roadside attractions. Started in the 1930s by a Garnett and Frida Carter, and I feel like a lot of people are probably more familiar with the Rock City barns than with Rock City itself. Now, the barns, the Carters hired a gentleman to travel the country painting barns with the logo See Rock City. And there was at one point 900 of these barns painted, generally black with white lettering, and now I think there's less than 50 of the Rock City barns currently in existence. And I know that personally I saw the barns before I ever even knew what Rock City was. Kind of drew me to Rock City and made me want to see what was going on there. And Rock City itself is an amazing attraction. It's a beautiful natural environment with some additions to it. One of my favorite parts, the Fairyland, where Frida Carter actually, imported her imported statues from Europe, her love of European folklore, to create dioramas and scenes. So some wonderful stuff. We're gonna head in here in a minute and check out how Rock City's doing. It's been a few years since I've been here. I haven't been here since before the pandemic, so interesting to check in and see how things are going here at Rock City. So please follow me. And I do love this gate here, and if you look closely you can see the trademark Rock City gnomes right there. Yeah, since 1932. You've been here quite a few times, have you not?
All my life. Came here when I was 13 and have been dear to my heart ever since then.
And you actually, when we met here, you're the one who told me this is the original entrance. You brought me back here. So what was this building right here behind you?
Well, Frida Carter designed this when all of this was just the garden in her backyard. Before they ever thought of opening it as a tourist attraction. She was just interested in making a spectacular garden out of the natural formations, and she did. It's listed with the garden club and all of that. And then they came up with the idea during the Depression to open it to the public. So she designed this little shack. I think she called it the Sugar Plum Shack or something like that. But a couple of years later, when they opened it as an attraction, this became the entrance booth. And I think this gate, where you see Fairyland above, I think that was where the public actually went through.
So most likely you'll get your ticket here and then head through the Fairyland gate. It says celebrating 90 years here. I believe that was from last year. So yeah, I guess in maybe about 9 years we can come back and celebrate 100 years at Rock City. All right, now come down here to the main entrance of Rock City Gardens. They have the decorated for spring here. They have the flower wreath that you can walk through. Yes, looks like they're calling it the Southern Bloom Festival. Now this is interesting. We have a Rock City gnome here. I guess you can put your face through it. Actually, looks like you can only put your eyes through it.
Here is Jacob transformed into a gnome.
Oh, it looks like a gnome.
Gnome.
Oh no! Alright, so we entered this building to actually get access to the gardens themselves.
Garnett and Frida themselves.
Yeah, the photo up here.
Painting, I think. Yeah.
Painting. Actual painting of.
Garnett was a sort of a traveling salesman, native to Tennessee, who gradually morphed into entrepreneur. He created the first miniature golf.
Yeah, that's one of the most interesting things. The same person that created miniature golf created Rock City.
Yep. It was a huge boom right before Rock City opened, and then the bottom fell out of it. It was kind of a fad. For
mini golf was considered a fad?
Mini golf was a fad,
Well, it definitely came back.
Came back in the 50s.
Oh, okay.
But when Tom Thumb Golf failed, he said, let's open up the wife's rock garden and make an attraction out of that.
All right, so looks like we came at a good time. The rhododendrons in bloom here. I don't know that I've ever actually been to Rock City this particular time of the year, so it looks really beautiful.
Well, yeah, Rock City Gardens. So there's gardens.
That's where the garden comes in.
Yeah.
See the waterfall there. Yeah, very pretty.
Of course, the natural formations part of it had been here since the beginning of time.
Oh, yeah, yeah.
And the name Rock City goes back to the 19th century. There's old letters of people talking about this particular area as the
Rock City. Okay, yeah, that makes sense. We head down here into what is called the Grand Corridor. This says, "Let no one say, and say it to your shame, that all was beauty here until you came." Basically, you know, you don't want to go down in history as the person who ruined Rock City. See this bridge up here? You know, Rock City kind of winds around, so at some point we'll be traveling back over top the bridge here. Oh, hey! Yeah, you can see some people passing over top us.
There they go.
All right, here we are at the Needle's Eye, where things start to get pretty narrow here. We gotta fit ourselves through here. It's been a few years since I've been here. I fit last time, so let's see if...
Yeah, I used to laugh at people when I was a kid and think, oh, think about a fat man squeeze a needle's eye. And that's not so damn funny anymore.
Oh, okay, there we go. One of the other nerve-wracking things is like you can't like see your feet, so you're like in your head was like, okay, there's probably a bunch of snakes around my feet.
Uh-oh.
There we go. Yeah, just take it nice. It's easy. Thread the needle here.
Mm-hmm. Good time to hope that we don't have a little earth trembler. Right.
Maybe squish.
Right now. I've often thought this would be a bad place in case the earth moved.
Now this part's interesting over here. When you look down, see kind of there's some structures built down there. And this was actually, used to be where they would keep their white fallow deer. That was part of the original attraction, was the deer that they had. So this would have been the deer's environment. See the pond down there. At one point they moved the deer to a different part of the park, and then I think just a few years after that they ended up getting rid of the deer, presumably giving them to some other facility.
There's an interesting story about Mushroom Rock. Originally, Mushroom Rock was called the Balancing Rock.
The Balancing Rock.
And then later they discovered a much bigger and much cooler Balancing Rock that we'll see later.
And like this is the Balancing Rock.
So they changed that to the Balancing Rock, and this to Mushroom Rock, which it really looked more like.
Yeah, I think it's more fitting that this be Mushroom Rock. See, there's like a chapel here. I think this is a more modern installation to Rock City. They do have one of the iconic Rock City birdhouses here now. They started creating these birdhouses after the popularity of the barns, and apparently originally they wanted to make mailboxes, not birdhouses, but the postal service would not approve for them to do that. Here is the Gnomes Overpass. This is one of the bridges we saw while walking through the Grand Corridor. You can see down there, there's the trail we were on earlier. We'll look down into kind of started like walking through kind of like a natural chasm there. I think this red door here is kind of a newer addition as well. But very, very nice looking. Head over here and see.
Around the corners, the Goblin's Underpass.
Oh yeah,
a good deal darker in experience than the Gnomes Overpass.
Yeah, the Gnomes Overpass was nice and cheerful, but here we head into the Goblin's Underpass here. And you can see it's very, very low ceiling there. If you're just a little bit taller.
It did actually have spooky gnomes in it at one point, but they scared the kids too much.
This had scary goblins in it?
Yeah, back in the 40s and 50s, it had actually had some spooky goblins.
And the kids wouldn't go in?
It was too scary. It blocked up the traffic.
Oh, no. Oh, man. That would be, I guess if I had to ask, if I request one thing of Rock City, bring back the scary goblins. There's a little drink stand here. It says, rock your thirst. And what were you saying this building used to be?
Back in the 70s, they had some air conditioners up in the ceiling. So in the summer, people would get up to this point and it'd be pretty hot. And they could pass through.
So this was just kind of like the room you go into to
cool off.
Literally cool off.
I suspect it must have blocked up traffic.
Yeah, probably people would hang out in the air conditioning hut.
Yeah. Well, if it starts raining, as seems probable.
It's shelter rock there. Yeah, if you just want to get out of the rain or get out of the sun after trekking this, just head under there to Shelter Rock. And here is the biggest choice to be made at Rock City. You're headed to Lover's Leap, and which way do you go? Do you go to the Stone Bridge, or do you go to the Swing Along Bridge? The infamous Swing Along Bridge. Of course, for the purposes of this video, we're gonna have to do the Swing Along Bridge. All right, now for the Swing Along Bridge. See, it kind of has a good bounce to it. Boing, boing. There is the stone bridge, the stronger, less bouncy bridge over there. And look at this. Look at the view here from the bridge. Whoa.
I got you.
This thing, this thing moves here. All right, yeah. I remember the first time I came to Rock City, there was an employee down there, and all they were doing was just telling people up here that it was gonna be okay. Like, people freeze up here in the middle, and they'd be like, all right, you're doing good. You know, don't look to your left. Just keep walking forward.
Over here, Jack.
What's that?
This spot is interesting. I have a Captain Marvel comic book
Yeah.
from the 50s. This is the Captain Marvel known as Shazam these days.
Yeah.
And he actually appeared on the cover of Captain Marvel Adventures, standing here fighting with a character called the Chattanooga Ghost.
The Chattanooga Ghost?
In the early 50s, they did a series of Captain Marvel covers where Captain Marvel went to Louisville and Cincinnati.
He just traveled around to all the major cities and
to where he had fans.
And battled local villains.
Yes, and they would set the Captain Marvel story in a local town, you know.
So he actually
a great cover of him fighting the Chattanooga Ghost standing right here on this spot.
That's incredible.
This is the spot where Captain Marvel saved Chattanooga from the ghost.
It's amazing. It's an interesting combination, like the views, the beautiful views, and the incredible springiness. Oh, here we got a little reprieve. It's got onto solid ground here. All right, and here we are in the prefaces of Lookout Mountain. Over there and see the infamous Lover's Leap. And normally there's a waterfall right there, but apparently they have it turned off for maintenance. You can hear them, actually hear them drilling down there. So yeah, it is I don't want to pull the curtain back too far, but it is a man-made waterfall. Yes, they're fixing it up, making sure it's extra nice once it opens back up. Now this, I think the legend behind Lover's Leap, there's a story of a Native American named, Sati, and fell in love with Nakuchi, a female Native American who was, I think her father was the chief. It was like a Romeo and Juliet type situation. Sati was thrown off of Lover's Leap, and Nakuchi jumped off after him. It's a very sad tale here at Rock City. There's another homage to Frida and Garnet Carter. It says Rock City was their dream. This was dedicated on the 45th anniversary of Rock City Gardens in 1977. Look down there, there's actually a little tiny sign down there pointing at the stone face. So yeah, you can kind of make out a face made out of stone there.
At least as legible as the late lamented stone face in New Hampshire.
Oh yeah,
a while back.
The old man in the mountain that fell off the side.
Super sad. But this one's still here.
This one's still hanging on. Coming over here, one of the most iconic spots in Rock City, where you can see 7 states from here. Of course, we're technically standing on Georgia.
True.
Tennessee, half a mile that way.
About where those houses are.
Yeah. Tennessee's just right there on the same mountain. And then
Alabama, very close.
Alabama, only 25 miles that way.
Before the 50s, there's actually signage that says C5 states from Rock City.
Really?
Yeah.
Where the extra states come from?
Well, somebody told them that on a very clear day you can see Mount Pinnacle, which sits on the border of Kentucky and Virginia.
Okay, so
120 miles in that direction.
Okay.
Now, I hate to say there have always been skeptics. The days around here haven't been that clear for some time.
Well, this is a theory that I've heard, though, is that at one point this was accurate, but it was before modern air pollution.
That's right. Yeah.
So
Chattanooga was a big industrial city starting in the 40s.
So in the 1930s, before all the industry came in, theoretically you could look that way, and 120 miles off in the distance, you could kind of make out Mount Pinnacle,
the peak of a very tall mountain, which it would have to be seen.
Yeah.
From 120 with the curvature of the earth.
Kentucky, Virginia state line.
Yeah.
So yeah. So at least one point in time, I feel like this was accurate. And maybe there'll be some day where we're, on a nice rainy day where the rain clears out the sky, maybe once in a while, you might be able to catch a glimpse of 7 states.
That doesn't work so well on a big billboard, though. Come to Rock City and maybe you might see 7 states. Probably you'll see 5. Today we're lucky to see 2, the weather the way it is.
Come down to this platform that they call the Eagle's Nest, and here we have a map of the 7 states that you can see from Rock City. We'd be in Lookout Mountain, Georgia, just right about there. So you kind of see how you can look out into the various states. You can see, yes, Mount Pinnacle will be around this area. And then here you have 7 flagpoles of each of the 7 Rock City states. Unfortunately, there's no flags today. It was a little bit of rain this morning, so I think they decided not to fly the flags today.
All right, this house is called Carter Cliffs. We saw the plaque that said Rock City was their dream. Well, Rock City was also their backyard. Before it opened as an attraction, it was a garden created by Frida Carter, and this was her home.
This was where they lived?
Yeah, this was where they lived. And it's got, as you can see, a wonderful 1930s feeling to it. And I've always loved it. In fact, that's my dream place to live, is hit the lottery, buy Rock City, and live in Carter Cliffs.
Right, and look what we have here. We have an Artomat. Now, you do find these in some places, but they're not all that common. This is where they take an old cigarette machine and convert it, where instead of selling cigarettes to minors, it is selling art. You can see little pieces of art that are dispensed there. Now, I bought a token for $5 over there in the gift shop, and we can select a particular artist that we want to receive some art from. So shopping here, see what looks the best. I'm gonna try this Aaron Butcher art right here. So got the token, put the token in, and then we pull the knob there, and there is our art. Oh, that is pretty cool. I do like that. See, it's like a wood block that's been painted. So yeah, a beautiful piece of art for $5 here at the Artomat. I have the geode stand here painted up like a Rock City barn. as we continue our journey through Rock City through the red door. See the sign down there, it says tortoiseshell rock. Of course, all the good rock formations have to have names. Well, the tortoiseshell rock does look a little bit like mushroom rock, I must say. Another big door here, almost looks like the door to Oz or something.
Well, we are getting into the middle earthy parts of Rock City now, which is a good thing because it's raining. But the second half of the tour here is largely underground.
Yeah, headed underground. First, we must go through Fat Man's Squeeze here, and you can just see from as we look ahead that little narrow slit in the rock. Well, we're gonna be possibly squeezing through there.
Yeah, we're the fat men who are about to get squeezed, I'm afraid.
Descending into the squeeze here.
Okay, all right. This could be embarrassing. I could block up the whole tour.
They'd have to get a drill. Come get us out of here.
Yep.
And you can see the sign up there. Fat Man Squeeze.
I feel like I'm being body shamed.
I know.
That sign is body shaming. We'll have to take that down pretty soon. Okay, all right.
Oh, watch your face.
All right. All right. Here we go.
Oh my God.
All right. I see a light at the end of the tunnel, so I'm okay. I'm okay. All right.
Yeah, it's a little uneven as we make our way.
Oh boy. There we go.
Last little bit. All right, we've made it through the Fat Man Squeeze, and here we have our first gnome.
First gnome sighting.
First gnome sighting here. Of course, it's one of the things I always associate with Rock City is the famous Rock City gnomes.
Well, gnomes are everywhere now, but Rock City was the start.
Yeah. Now you see them in people's yards, and you can see them at the gift shops and Home Depot. But
free to have them sent over from Germany, and then all the millions of people that traveled to Rock City in the 30s, 40s, and 50s saw the gnomes, and they wanted to know, hey, where's our gnome? I need a gnome.
So if we're keeping track, we have they invented Rock City, mini golf, and yard gnomes, all originated here.
Yeah, and more. I'll tell you some more later. I've got a good story about that.
I showed earlier where the original deer pen was, and for a few years they actually had the deer down in this area before they left Rock City. Looking up there, we can see the swing-along bridge that we went over earlier. And down underneath the bridge, I don't know who this is. There's a statue of a lady holding a bird there. Okay, so this is the balanced rock. This replaced the mushroom rock was the original balanced rock, but this was much more impressive and much more balanced.
They used to have a sign on it that said 1,000 ton balanced rock.
1,000 ton.
Or not.
I don't know how they would weigh it.
Yeah,
if it was.
I'm sure it's not the 999 tons balanced rock, or maybe 1,001. I don't know.
These doors, I don't know when they put these doors in. I don't remember.
No,
these doors are pretty new. So.
Speak, friend, and enter.
All right. This is Observation Point. A wonderful view out here. We can look back and see.
And the Rock City barn.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
The Rock City barn down there.
We're being told to see Rock City, and we already got it covered. We are seeing it.
You can see Lover's Leap over there where we were at earlier. They have the waterfall there turned off currently, and yet you can see people walking on that precarious platform there. Now this looks like there's been some changes to the Rainbow Hall here. Let's just head inside and take a peek at this. Into the Rainbow Hall. Okay, it still looks good as the rainbow effect. These used to be just like solid panes of colored glass, and you could actually look out and see the city all colored that way. They've replaced it with these more decorated, ornate. I don't even know what you'd call that, like a fixture or cover to the rainbow. It still reflects rainbow on the other side, but
right, yeah.
It's a little different.
There it is. Am I red? Am I yellow? Or am I orange yet?
Yeah, because you change color as you pass through. What do you think of the change here?
Oh no. Well, I grew up with this place, and it's no doubt that the colored glass was antiquated and corny, but I'm nostalgic. So some changes I'm good with, others I get a sour look on my face. So my daughter's going to cry. She loves the old Rainbow Hall, so she may get used to it. It's terrible to be so persnickety, isn't it?
Is it terrifying looking?
Yes, very much so.
Love the yellow cracks.
Oh, thank you.
That dance would be terrifying wherever it was taking place. Oh, it's giving away, Jacob.
You can see down there where the waterfall is turned off. I'm doing some watery repairs. Next up, heading into the Undercliff Passage. And I do love, like, as you travel through Rock City, everything has a name, everything has a designation.
Well, you know, Lord of the Rings, another Lord of the Rings. There's a Mr. Underhill. That's Bilbo's name in Lord of the Rings.
All right, we're getting ready to head into what they call the Hall of the Mountain King, and there's some definite new things here. You can see the new archway there, this new door, some new windows there. See, they've added some the color-changing lights there on the archway.
Rock City at night would be cool, but I don't think it's ever open at night. Maybe in Christmas, yeah. The Garden of Lights, Christmas.
Yeah, and Christmas is open at night. That may be the only time.
That's probably what this is for, maybe.
All right, here we are at the gate of the Hall of the Mountain King. And this is brand new, this structure right here. Almost like some sort of mythical mountain creature holding up the cliff there. That's very interesting.
Hopefully he hasn't been enslaved by the Mountain King, forced to hold the mountain up. Sorry.
Sorry. So you head in here, we have the lights. Okay, and look on the ground. It's actually like black light, illuminated painting.
This is great.
Oh yeah, trilobites.
See, this is a modernization thing I like.
Yeah, this is
good. Oh, I hope they didn't take the moonshine still out. I bet they did though.
Okay, now this is interesting right here. This is where there used to be the gnomes with the moonshine still. That's been removed and replaced. There's like, I don't know, some sort of rock or gem, some mythical looking piece right there placed in the waterfall. I definitely missed the moonshine still. That was kind of iconic, I felt, but this is also interesting and pretty visually interesting.
Almost looks like a crown sticking up.
Okay. Oh yeah.
The Mountain King's crown.
Is that the Mountain King's crown?
Maybe so.
Well, it looks like there's actually still some work going on here at the...
Here is an actual gnome hard at work. People want Bigfoot sightings here. We've got a gnome sighting. All right, Jacob, the old stone witch was supposed to be around here somewhere.
Yeah. There she is. Actually, I don't know if I see there's a sign pointing her out, but
there used to be. I don't know. Apparently, it's not still there.
But you can see they actually, there's the witch face, and they added in a pipe for the witch to
you can see it better, I think, from a more. Okay, here's a deep cut of Rock City lore.
Okay.
The Stone Witch actually has a name.
Okay, I did not know this.
Her name is Galucci.
Galucci, the Stone Witch. That is so that's a Rock City deep cut there.
Entrance to Fairyland Caverns. A sculptress named Jessie Sanders was brought in 1948 because she had an idea of taking the gnome. In fact, originally they wanted her to make a gnome city. Mm-hmm. She said, no, let's do something more elaborate than that. So let's bring in more fairy tale characters, not just the gnomes. So she was a great sculptress, and she got to work on a whole exhibit of Fairyland characters. And originally the thought was you'd get on a train, like a little circus, zoo train, and go through here. And there's actual pictures of the zoo train that had been brought in. And then they got part of the way through the project and realized it wasn't really practical. So they turned it into a walk-through attraction. So Fairyland Caverns was opened in '48 as a walk-through attraction. That sign used to be the entrance to the Fairyland subdivision, which was Garnett Carter, the real estate developer, did before he did Rock City. So That's why all the streets around here are named Peter Pan Lane and Cinderella.
Yeah, notice I was driving Red Riding Hood Lane as I was coming up here.
This was the neighborhood that he developed as a real estate developer.
right.
But it precedes Rock City.
Interesting. So the sign actually precedes Rock City.
But you do kind of mourn lost things that never came to pass. Imagine going through
This would be really, the idea of this being a train ride.
Yeah.
Is really.
I can't help but imagine that it must have been a little like the Rainbow Caverns ride at Disneyland.
All right.
Which has been gone many years.
Headed in the Diamond Corridor.
And gnomes, there they are.
You can see those classic Rock City gnomes there. And then, of course, no smoking in Fairyland Caverns.
You may feel, with all the black light and everything, you may feel like you've been smoking something, but...
This little gnome peeking at us out of that little doorway. So we're heading down. We can see some gnomes hanging there. And I think some of this is new construction. I think this woodwork here is new. You have the cart of gems there. Yeah, peeking back in here, kind of see the different gnome, and spot the different gnomes hiding in the crevices. Yeah, peek up there, you can see a few more gnomes hanging on a swing.
You gotta respect the gnomes, Jacob. They were here long before man.
Deeper into the caverns here. Hear the music filling the caverns here. Lights illuminating the walkway. Look at this scene there. You can see the gnome hang out by the pond. The illuminated rocks there. A few more gnomes back that way. These blacklit scenes here. See the mother reading her children fairy tales.
This is
before
the first
bed.
actual Jessie Saunders scene. Garnett Carter said he didn't care what she put in Fairyland Caverns so long as it had this scene of the mother reading fairy tales.
Okay, so
out
they
of a
want
book by kids. The kids.
So they wanted the opening scene to be a mother reading fairy tales. Then the other scenes would be the fairy tales themselves. And then we see the children at night, asleep in their beds.
Nestled is the word.
Nestled in their beds. Then the sugar plum fairies prancing out the window. Another gnome scene there, little guy. This here is a tribute to Jessie Saunders, who did the original figures for Fairyland Caverns. This is a Pied Piper right here. This is the lost Fairyland Caverns character. Says that in 2015, when they were going through her studio, they found this, the Pied Piper, that had actually, for whatever reason, never made it into Fairyland Caverns. Down here we have some more of the gnomes. It says, "Did you gnome?" The gnomes hiding through this exhibit are original gnomes belonging to Frida Carter. Most of the gnomes have lived here since the 1920s. That's a 1920s era gnome there. This is Jessie's deer here. This was a deer created by Jessie Saunders. So this was commissioned to go along with the Snow White scene. Down in this window, you can see a gnome there lounging on his side, smoking a pipe.
Another first for Rock City. Believe it or not, Rock City is credited as being the first known use of the blacklight effect
Really?
in a public attraction.
You're serious?
It predates all the spook houses, all of the other things, and it predates the Disneyland Fantasyland rides.
Oh, wow.
Now here's the rest of the story. Walt Disney himself came to Rock City in the early 50s,
Yeah.
and Jessie Saunders took him through the attraction. He was looking, this is the same tour where he went to the famous Tivoli Gardens in Copenhagen.
Yeah.
He made a tour to get ideas for Disneyland. And she took him through and showed him her blacklight fairy tale scenes, and she said he was really, really impressed. And to this day, she's passed away sadly, but all the rest of her life, even though he didn't actually say it officially, she always believed that the Disneyland Fantasyland dark rides were inspired by Fairyland Caverns at Rock City.
And I'd say, yeah, if you look at, you look at these compared to the early Disneyland dark
Peter Pan ride and all that kind
you
of
see
thing.
the similarity. So wow. So yeah, this is almost like so the Fairyland Caverns almost is the original Fantasyland dark ride, even though it's technically not a ride because you walk on your feet.
It almost was a ride.
But yeah, it almost was a ride. It's just, I guess they had problems getting a train into a cave.
Yeah. But here's Disneyland prehistory for all you Disneyland fans.
Here we see Rip Van Winkle waking from his slumber. I think he slept, was it 20 years that Rip Van Winkle slept? It looks like all these gnomes are laughing at him for oversleeping.
Sometimes credited as the first time travel story.
Really?
Irving's
Oh yeah.
Rip Van Winkle.
We see Little Red Riding Hood there with that terrifying big bad wolf. Although you look in the back, you do see the woodsman coming to rescue Red Riding Hood. Here we have Jack and the Beanstalk, the giant up there at the top. The Beanstalk there. You can see Jack has acquired the goose that lays the golden eggs and is chopping down the beanstalk, hoping to send that giant to its grave. We have Goldilocks running in fear from the bear family back there. Got Papa Bear, Mama Bear, and Baby Bear. We have some more gnomes at work here. They are, looks like they're repairing this Cinderella scene. I think what they're repairing, you see the pumpkin coach right there. Normally would have the mice pulling the coach, but they're currently off being repaired somewhere. We have the old woman who lived in a shoe. See her there, disciplining her children.
Yeah, it says she didn't know what to do, but she looks like she got a pretty good handle on corporal punishment.
Yeah,
there.
she didn't know what to do, but looks like she's figuring it out. She just has to beat each one of them. And Rod was just pointing out that this was probably mind-blowing at the time. The blacklight effect never been seen before in public. So people stopped at Rock City, went down to the caverns, and saw these bright colors that they'd never seen before. And apparently it was a big hit at the time, really blew people away. All right, so what we just saw was the 1948 Fairyland Caverns, but they actually brought Jesse Sanders back in 1964 to create this, the Mother Goose Village, which would be the expansion onto the original Fairyland Caverns. So you just have like this big mountain covered in fairy tale characters, them playing the fairy tale music there, and
the scale. Here I am in the picture, so you can get the scale.
Yeah, so you can kind of see this massive mountain here. And there we start out. We have Mother Goose there, her umbrella tucked under her wing. Now we know that wolf is bad and big, but according to this is a wicked wolf. He actually goes beyond being bad. The three pigs over here, the house of sticks here in the back. It says the lazy pig built his house out of straw, and then the smartest pig over here, of course, building his house out of bricks. Got all the different fairy tales here. A diller, a dollar. Oh, there's Mary's little sheep that followed her to school, the little school there on top. The little boy there stealing the pig. I'm trying to remember what fairy tale this is. What's that?
Stealing a fat hog.
Oh, stealing a fat hog. If anyone remembers what fairy tale this is, leave a comment in the comment section. It says Ding Dong Bell, Pussies in the Well. So apparently this is little Tommy Lynn here who put a cat in a well. This is kind of a darker nursery rhyme here. Up there we have Mr. Froggy going a-courtin'. Okay, we have Hey Diddle Diddle, the cat in the fiddle, The cow jumped over the moon. The little dog laughed to see such a sport, and the dish ran away with the spoon. I definitely love the dish man and spoon lady there, and absolutely love the cow. The cow jumping over the moon there, one of my favorites here in Mother Goose Village. There is the 3 little kittens who lost their mittens. I guess they hung their mittens out to dry, and they were stolen. And then look over here, the Lost River. You can see a little dragon hiding in the cave.
I always like that.
There's a little Jack Horner sitting in a corner, putting his thumb in a pie. He pulled out a plum and said, "What a good boy am I." Never really understood that one. What's happening? Why is he pulling a plum out with his thumb? Why is he a good boy?
Maybe pulling out a plum with your thumb is harder than it seems.
There's old Mother Hubbard. Her cabinets are bare. You see Jack Be Nimble there jumping over the candlestick. You see little Miss Muffet there spilling her curds and whey as that horrifying spider dangles down in her face.
Trigger warning for arachnophobia.
Here's Rockabye Baby, and if you look up into the tree, to the baby there, although looking closely, that could it be? Is that a Cupid?
It's a cute.
Oh my gosh. See the 3 blind mice there, a woman chasing them, presumably to cut off their tails with a carving knife. Oh, and there we have, the old woman and her shoe have come back to Mother Goose Village. There's Peter Pumpkin Eater, which is, I'd say, you know, some of the nursery rhymes confuse me a little bit. This one confuses me a lot. He took his wife, he locked her in a pumpkin almost as a prisoner. At least I think that's the implication here, is that he imprisoned his wife in a pumpkin. She's a jealous husband, okay. So he put her in a pumpkin so other men couldn't chase after her. See Jack and Jill there falling down the hill. Unfortunately, it looks like Jack may have broken his crown. Wee Willie Winky there, along with Little Boy Blue. It's the Crooked Man. Of course, he lives in a crooked house. I think is that his crooked cat right there? You can see Cinderella's carriage right there as it rolls upward over the village to that big castle on top. There is Humpty Dumpty sitting on the wall. And I think Humpty Dumpty, what I've heard is that there's actually a lot of controversy on what the nursery rhyme is actually based on. A lot of theories out there, but I don't think any of them are 100%. There's Mary, quite contrary, with her garden there. Pretty maids all in a row, growing up little women's heads growing in her garden. And we end with Jack Sprat and his wife. Because Jack Sprat, he could eat no fat. His wife could eat no lean. So betwixt them both, they licked their platter clean. So he would eat all the meat, and she would eat all the fat. So yeah.
I don't have this problem. I'm perfectly capable of eating both the
Yeah, I tend to eat lean and fat just all together.
I'm afraid I'll have to lick the platter clean too.
And after Mother Goose Village, there's 2 animated scenes. You can see the gnome carnival there. The Ferris wheel turning around. You can see all the little gnomes there on the Ferris wheel. Yeah, you actually there's a little gnome sideshow going on there in the back. You can see the sideshow banners. And you look through this porthole and you see the 3 men in a tub. Of course, the butcher over there, the candlestick maker up front, and the baker all floating in a tub, wondering how they got in this situation. I don't know, I think this would be the good beginning to a movie. And you see the candlestick maker, the butcher, the baker all showing up, floating in a tub, and he's like, "You'll never guess how we ended up in this situation." there we go. After going through the Fairyland Caverns and the Mother Goose Village, we're back out. Now it looks like the rain has finally started. Looks like we got lucky, avoiding the rain most of the day here. And now it is time to exit through the gift shop. Some t-shirts here. It says a day at the Rock. I don't know if I've ever heard of Rock City being referred to as the Rock before. Over here we can actually see the 7 states that you can see from Rock City. Take home your own gnome here from Rock City. Yeah, a coffee cup there has all the
old-timey stuff.
All the different landmarks on it. The different magnets here. I do like this C7 States magnet. That's pretty cool. Of course, the classic souvenir would be to get a Rock City birdhouse. Have the different sizes here. You get a little tiny birdhouse there, and they even have a little plushy birdhouse, which I guess is also a carrier for a stuffed cat. You can have your own Rock City gnome hat to take home with you and just wear it around town.
It's raining, but it's still not too bad.
So thank you for joining me here today at Rock City. I want to thank Rod for helping me out with some of the history here. I definitely learned a few things about Rock City today, and always wonderful to come and see Rock City. There's some changes here, Rock City. I do miss the gnomes with the moonshine still. I think that was a little surprising to me that they had removed that. Maybe it's coming back. Maybe they are still doing some work. So fingers crossed. Maybe they will put them back at some point. But yeah, I don't want to stand against change completely. They're doing little changes here and there. But things do progress, and I'm just still happy that we can come here and visit Rock City. Appreciate you guys watching. If you like these videos, please subscribe. Travel around the country, film roadside attractions, amusement parks, museums, haunted houses, and other fun stuff. If you would like to support the channel, consider donating to Patreon. $3 or more will get you a postcard once a month from me to you. Also selling enamel pins in the Etsy shop, as well as doing cameos. And all that helps keep this train on the track, this boat in the water, and this dirigible in the air. Until next time, my friends, this one's in the bag.